Good morning, my beautiful people. It is a beautiful, lovely, wonderful winter's day. It is it's the end of the first week, start of the second week of January. Whatever it is, it's still January something. And we got some food. Would you just look at that? 14 50-pound bags of seed. Got a bale of hay and some pine shaving bedding. Look at that. Big old load of food. We got to unload this and get the animals fed. I want to show you just a couple of the things that you need to buy to get started. You're going to need, to do it the way I do it, you're going to need some zip ties. Just some small 4-inch cable ties, zip ties, whatever it is that you call them. You're going to need this pack of the drinkers. These come with the drinkers. They're ready-made with the hook on them, and they come with little springs, and then the white plastic tees that you use to connect them together and to connect them to the tubing. And you're going to, thank you very much for that, Mr. Rooster. You're going to need tubing, and you want black tubing. Do not get the clear tubing. The clear tubing will allow bacteria and algae and other yucky stuff to grow. You want the black tubing. You don't want the black tubing that is normally sold for drip irrigation for gardening supplies, because it is hard, it turns brittle, it's difficult to work with, it's not pliable, it's not bendable as easily as this. This is a soft rubber type tubing. It works exceptionally well. I will, of course, leave links to all of this down in the description. This comes in a 50-foot roll. Order as many rolls of this as you need. I always have an extra roll on hand. Order these in the quantity that you need. They're cheap. They, you can get 20 at a time, 25 at a time, 50, 100 at a time, whatever it is that you need. I keep these on hand also. They, like I said, you get an equal number of the tees as you get the little drinker valves, and these are just absolutely wonderful. Now, they will, over time, begin to leak, and it is simple just to replace them. I go through and I replace everything, the whole entire tubing and everything once a year, just because I do. That way I am assured that everything is working properly. But it's still cheaper in the long run than washing bowls every day, and you are assured that your birds have a constant clean source of water. So it is worth every bit of trouble to me to do this. Excuse the geese in the back. I want to show you why we do this. Now, I've already taken the old water system off here. You can see where I've had it attached with the zip ties. Yes, I know it's a loud video. I apologize. That's the nature of the beast, literally. Have a bowl of pellets. I have this little basket hanger here that I have. This is where I put the fresh fruits and vegetables in, sprouts when I have them. I took the water system off yesterday. I gave them bowls of water. I changed this bowl of water about 30 minutes ago, and this pair of peach-faced lovebirds have already put pellets in there and have made a mess. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. And what you want to do, if you have not already, when you do get started, if your cages are made with the 1/2 by 1 inch wire, like this cage is, you have to cut one of the wires loose. I've cut a vertical wire loose right here, and this opens up a 1 inch by 1 inch hole, and this allows the drinker valve, hook, and mechanism to fit in here properly. But to get started, the very first thing I do, ignore the mess. We're in the process of moving everything, is I run the tubing. I run the tubing along the bottom edge of the front of the cage, held on with zip ties. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started with that. Okay, so now that we got the tubing run, the next thing I need to do is to get the little water valves situated. Now these are the simplest of things. This blue back is plastic, of course, and they twist on and off. Have to be careful because there is a, can you see? No, you can't see.
Yeah.
There's a spring in there. And then there's a little clear rubber silicone O-ring gasket washer type thing. But inside here is this tiny little pin that has that little, looks kind of like a nail. And I know you're not going to be able to see this, but even deeper inside there is a little black washer.
We see that.
And so this little pin seats down inside there against the washer, and the spring that's held in by the blue cap pushes against that pin against the washer, and that's what causes a watertight seal inside the little valve. And then the blue plastic end has a barb on it that fits into the tubing, and it twists in, and you have to twist it enough so that it compresses that little clear silicone O-ring. When there's water flowing through here, the bird or the rabbit or guinea pig or pet rat, whatever it may be, will push against this pin. Bite it, chew it, press on it, whatever it takes. And that dislodges the spring, releases just a little bit. It dislodges against that black washer that's in there, and that allows water to slowly come out. You know, if the bird just barely presses on it like a little parakeet or a parrotlet, then just a drop of water at a time is going to come out. If a larger conure were to press on it, then a larger amount of water obviously would come out. And so the hardest part about this whole entire process is digging through the bag to get the spring. Now obviously you could pour this out into a bowl or a bucket, and that will be so much easier. The valve has a bracket made onto it. There's a hook on one end and then tiny little holes on the other end. And the spring threads through one of those tiny little holes and just twists on like that. And now this spring is attached to the valve. This end will attach to the cage, and you simply just pull it out and hook that over that little hole that I've created in the wire. Now if you use a larger size wire, a 1 inch by 1 inch wire or a 1 inch by 2 wire, then you're not going to need to cut a hole. So let's go inside the building and get these put on the cage. So now that I've done that, I just have to cut the tubing and attach the tees, and then put a small, about 8-inch, 10-inch piece of tubing between the tee and the drinker valve. I hope you can hear me. Here on this end, I'm going to put a T on. I'm going to attach this. But then from here, I'm going to run a tubing up and over to connect to the main water line. which is here in this corner and temporarily draped. So let me get that done. Okay, I know it's loud. We are in a parrot building. They are loud, especially when you have as many as I do. I also apologize about the lighting. It is an overcast day in the middle of January. What you gonna do? Now I am about to get wet. I have to cut this line and install this T. So let's see what kind of a mess I can make. Now this line goes to the cages. This line with the water pouring out everywhere comes from the main supply bucket, barrel, water barrel, tank. So there we go. We should have water flowing through the lines. Let's go check it out.